Folks, welcome into the show. This is SportsBookReview.com, and this is your Major League Baseball show for Tuesday, September 8th, 2020. I'm Donnie Seymour. He's Jason Radowitz, and we are on the hunt to make some money. A huge card today. Hope you guys' holiday was profitable. Mine certainly was. I know Jason's been doing damage as well in Major League Baseball. Let's kick off this weekend. So even though there's football going to be going on Thursday night and through this weekend, still a lot of money to be made in baseball. Jason, how you doing today?
Yeah, I can't complain. Another day, another tiring day because now we have the NFL, college football, along with MLB, still doing the KBO. Tons of sports, a lot of fun, but also a lot of work.
No, I'm enjoying it, and it's been a lot of fun, and we've been having, some incredible streaks. I'm on a nice one now. I know you've been just doing damage all summer long, and all the stuff that you're doing as well. It turns out, hey, let's get the baseball card together, just get the, Japanese baseball card together, the Korean baseball card together, get some NFL together, get some college football together. It's all colliding right now, so no sleep until Brooklyn, as we like to say. Welcome into the guys out there in the chat box. 82 people already watching live, 21 thumbs up, 61,100 people have already subscribed to us on our YouTube channel right here at SportsBookReview.com. We do thank you for that. If you're one of the few guys watching live or in the replay and haven't done so yet, hit that subscribe button, turn that notification button from red to gray, and turn the notifications on so you get the Major League Baseball show delivered to your inbox each and every day at 1:30 p.m. A huge card going on. Thank you, Brian, Alex. Looks like YouTube everything is in. That's fantastic. Jose, Alex, Oscar, Rye, Shaheem, we are ready to get it rocking and rolling. How about we waste no more time, Jason, and start pummeling this card today? 9:53, 9:54, a 6:10 Eastern time start. That is between Kansas City and Cleveland. The youngster on the mound, McKenzie for the Indians, and Jacob Junis for the Royals. Line opened up around 8.5, still sitting at 8.5 across the board on totals. But if we take a look at the actual line, minus 221 opened up offshore at SBRodds.com. Now sitting at 207, 215, 225. A heavy favorite for the young guy, but I got to tell you, looks pretty good. And I saw it yesterday. I wanted that over 2.5 plus 100 in the first 5 innings cashed on the Indians. Even though I don't like their bats, I still think this makes sense. I'm going team total over 4.5 for the game on the Cleveland Indians today. Just a straight up fade of Junis. Not going to worry about those Kansas City bats. I'm just going to go with the Indians today to put up 5 runs. Jason, what are we thinking here in this one?
Yeah, look, I love the Indians too. I think Tristan McKenzie is phenomenal in his first 3 starts of the season, coming off a game where he had no runs to the Royals in that start. He's looked incredible, like I just said. High K rate, low walks, BABIP is low, ground balls are average, getting swinging strikes. He looks great. Then talk about Junis. There's one guy in that lineup, Francisco Lindor. He's batting 534 at bats versus Junis. 4 home runs against Junis on the season. So I actually did a little article on SBR today on player props, and the player prop was for Lindor over 1.5 total bases. So all he needs is a double, gets that, cashes it in. If he goes against Junis twice, gets 2 singles, cashes that in. Also, of course, there's a nice long shot on the home run player prop as well. So yeah, I love Lindor in this spot. I love the Indians in this spot. It's not an official play. Although I'm probably going to put some money on Lindor, still not an official play. I'm not, putting it out there. It is in the article, so if you guys want to take that, look at it. It's a pretty nice line for Lindor, who's absolutely destroyed Junis in the past.
And if you guys want to read these articles, no further place. Just look below. You see the link below, sbrpicks.com/MLB. Get all Jason's write-ups there. Our videos are listed there. Designed, as we like to say, to make you a more informed gambler in Major League Baseball right here at sportsbookreview.com. Let's keep it moving here. 9:55, 9:56. The New York Yankees and the Toronto Blue Jays. 80 out of every 10 tickets here coming in on the Yankees, even though they seem to be in a free fall. I got to tell you, looking at this game here, Taijuan Walker versus Jay Happ, it's a cheap line, and most people that see that line, Jason, say what? Oh my goodness, I'm going to get the Yankees around to pick 'em. I'm never going to see this again. I need to take this pick 'em. That's not going to be the case today for me, because the better pitcher to me is Taijuan Walker on the side of the Toronto Blue Jays in this one. Happ got lit up in his last one. And if we're even taking a look at some analytical numbers just based on Happ, 4.68 ERA, not great. Then it jumps to a 5.87 FIP, and then goes to 5.46 as an FFIP, and a horrendous Sierra of 5.76. I think I'm getting the better pitcher on the mound today with the Blue Jays. I'm going to take that cheap line. Minus 110 Blue Jays for me in this game, Jason. What are we looking at here between these two?
Yeah, I'm with you on the Blue Jays, but for me, it's just hard to bet Taijuan Walker. I mean, we've seen him in the past, right? He's looked pretty good this season so far. especially with the Blue Jays. He's looked really good. But how do I go and take Taijuan Walker? So for me, I mean, you just said it though. Happ has been really bad. We know what Walker's capable of on both sides. We've seen him pitch really well. We've also seen him be really bad of a pitcher in recent years. So I think this game goes over the total at 10.5. It's a lean for me, but it's two pitchers I'm not too high on. You're playing this game in Buffalo. The Yankees bats are starting to are going to start to come around again, and that's why a lot of people are putting their money on the Yankees. They're thinking the Yankees are going to score some runs and help Happ out a little bit here. So I like the over 10.5 in this game. But again, this is too tough. There's so many other games out there that we can choose from. Staying away from this one.
It's wild, too, because you saw yesterday in this ballpark, which obviously plays to a lot more runs, a 10-run inning yesterday. And the one thing you always thought you could count on is even if that Yankees lineup is injured, even if the starting pitching isn't giving you much, the back end and the middle relief of that bullpen is supposed to be really good. And they got lit on fire again yesterday. You saw it just a few days early with the New York Mets touching them up late as well. Something's just not clicking for the Yankees. And I saw an interesting, article coming out today saying, who would have thought that the expanded playoffs would benefit the Yankees to keep them in it? Because in this free fall, they're hanging on to that 8th seed in the American League. Now, look, the troops are probably coming back on the way. This team's going to look drastically different, hopefully, in the next 3 weeks. Or if you're a Yankee hater, hopefully it doesn't change at all. But in that ballpark, anytime any runs can happen. You saw it again yesterday. 959, 960, the White Sox and the Pittsburgh Pirates cease versus Musgrove on the mound. 8 out of every 10 tickets offshore here coming in on the Chicago White Sox. It looks like across the board, 132s, 136, 135s. We have an opening number on the total of 9.5. That now sits still at 9.5 across the board. I picked this play out a little bit earlier today, and it's a matchup where like something like -3.5, minus 140s were out there. But I like the Pittsburgh Pirates team total here to go over 4 runs. And look, when you're looking at the Pittsburgh lineup, sometimes it just doesn't match your eyes because they don't do that well. But the one thing they match up well is they can stack left-handed bats against Cease. They should be able to. It looks like the anticipated lineup, Jason, between 6 to 7 lefties will be in that lineup, and that's where you do damage. It's not an expensive number, and if you think the Chicago White Sox are going to win the game, you're going to get a full 9 at bats from the Pittsburgh Pirates as well. Sometimes you got to lay down with those fleas, but I'm going to come up a winner here. I'm going the Pittsburgh Pirates team total over 4. What are you looking at here in this game between the White Sox and the Pirates?
Yeah, I'm on the opposite side, but I don't disagree with you. I think both teams will score runs, and I think that the over could hit. But I like the White Sox over 5. I got it at around minus 135. Of course, I get these questions all the time. Do you like 5.5? Of course I do. Because the reality is I'm taking 5. I need 6 to win. Obviously, 5 gets you the push, but I still need 6 to win. So, of course, I like 5.5. I just would rather you get the insurance and have that 5. So if they do become a run short, you get your money back. So that's how I bet, to make sure that, if they are, a run short, I still get, my money back. But, yes, I still think it'll hit 6 because I'm betting on it to hit 6. 5 doesn't cut it for me. I don't win with the 5. I win with the 6. So White Sox over 5 means I need 6 runs from the White Sox. And like you said, the Pirates, they could score some runs in this game too. So if we can get a 5-5 game or something, I'm totally down with that with the White Sox in that game and help you get your Pirates win there too. So yeah, like you said, Cease not a very great pitcher. Of course, he has a 3.29 ERA, but you look at the metrics, a 6.32 FIP. He's walking 4.39 batters. His strikeout numbers are pretty low. He's allowing 2 home runs per 9 innings. And then on the other hand, Musgrove, he's got some high strikeouts, but 5.6 walks per 9 innings, 2.04 home runs per 9 innings, 6.62 ERA, and a 5.75 FIP. So both these pitchers are brutal. I would just prefer the White Sox bats compared to the Pirates bats. Do I think the Pirates will score? Of course I do. I just would prefer the White Sox over the Pirates because the reality is if Musgrove walks a couple batters, the White Sox, all they need is a couple home runs, a 3-run bomb here and a 3-run bomb there. They get that to hit. And Musgrove, if you look at his stats, he's been terrible versus righties. I think the .362 average versus righties on the season, or actually .367 versus righties this season for Musgrove. Of course, that White Sox lineup has tons of righties in that lineup that can do so much damage with power. And as long as they stay patient, they'll be able to have some hitter counts and of course hit the ball out of the yard.
Yeah, Jason Lowry talking in the chat box. There has been a huge line move, but sometimes we don't understand where that line move comes from in case, because I'm showing Pinnacle opened up at 170, now sits at 132. Maybe because they thought another pitcher might be involved in this situation, which is not, and it opens up. So sometimes you have to take that with a little bit of grain of salt, because I don't see any massive changes here for the Chicago White Sox in their lineup where they're going to bench 4 or 5 guys with some COVID outbreak. I don't think that's going to be the case in this one, but there are some interesting line drops when it does happen. But Jason, we talk all the time because when you're going over that White Sox-Pittsburgh game, you say get to 5-5. The best part about this season as well is obviously coming into the National League, you get the DH on both sides. But more importantly, if this is 3-3 or 4-4 heading into extra innings, that usually is a run bonanza where you can almost count on at least 2 runs in that first inning. You bunt the guy over, you get a run in, then the home team counters, and then you see what happens after that. So it's some good shots here when you're an under better in these day and ages, dealing with obviously the DH and also the extra innings. It's tough to hang on. And I always like to say is you don't hit a team total under, Jason. You got lucky by getting the team total under. So we'll see if that continues. But I do agree with you. I see runs from both sides in this one. I just took a little bit of a cheaper line. But also from your White Sox perspective, you're getting your full 9 at-bats. Doesn't matter what the hell the Pittsburgh Pirates do. You're going to get those extra 3 outs. So we'll keep moving here. 963, 964. Those Miami Marlins, those feisty Miami Marlins on the mound today with Sixto Sanchez, maybe a future ace in Major League Baseball, going up against Kyle Wright, not the Miami Hurricanes quarterback from the early 2000s. This Kyle Wright getting damaged and brought up from the taxi squad, which they're not playing games. They're just hanging out, and he's going to be inserted into the lineup tonight. So we'll see what happens there. Minus 121 is an opener. Minus 115 is across the board. An over-under of 9.5 across the board. Usually I look at this because the Atlanta Braves can score on offense, but this will be an interesting one with Sixto Sanchez on one side. But I do think the Marlins will be able to score runs on the Atlanta Braves. I'm leaning towards the Miami Marlins team total in this one, Jason. Which way are you looking here?
Yeah, like you said, Sanchez has been incredible in 3 starts this season. He's got 9 strikeouts per 9 innings, just walking .47 batters. He's looked really good with a 2.37 ERA, a 3.36 FIP. So, yeah, I like the Marlins here in the first 5 going up against Kyle Wright. My one concern on this game, and I don't think it's going to be major concern, but Kyle Wright actually does okay in his first go-around versus the lineup. Then he struggles in the second, third go-around. Well, now, he hasn't pitched in a while, so the Braves might just take him out after, his first 2 innings and just go to the bullpen. But even then, like the Braves bullpen versus Sixto Sanchez, it doesn't really faze me. I think Sanchez is a better pitcher regardless who the Braves put out there. That's how good Sanchez has been. So for me, Marlins first 5, money line, minus 106. I think Sanchez is able to hold down the Braves. And if the Marlins can score a couple runs versus Kyle Wright, who's got a 9.6 walk rate, so 9.6 walks per 9 innings, which is just brutal. So as long as the Marlins stay patient, they should be fine, be able to score some runs against the Wright, who has 7.2 ERA and a 6.48 FIP. But like I said, the only thing is I'm nervous about is if the Braves, take him out early. But I would assume they're not going to take him out early unless they allow a run or 2. That's what I'm hoping for. So the reality is I still think Sanchez will get the job done and allow 1-2 runs, if that, at most, in 5 innings.
250 people watching now live in the chat box. Do thank you. 49 thumbs up. We really appreciate it here. Big things going on in the month of September right here at sportsbookreview.com. NFL, college football, NBA, soccer, Major League Baseball. It's all going down. Your one-stop shop for all your sports betting needs right here at sportsbookreview.com. 9:55, 9:66. Baltimore invading Citi Field. And I got to tell you yesterday, Jason, left the show in a pretty good mood, grilled up the steaks. The family came over, and all hell starts to break loose, and that Phillies bullpen gives up the lead, but miraculously in extra innings, a 2-run blast, I believe a 2-run blast by Gene Segura cements the win for the Philadelphia Phillies, escaping out of town. Now we see the New York Mets go up against Means, the lefty for the Orioles, and Waka's going to be on the mound for the New York Mets. 7 out of every 10 tickets here coming in on the Mets. The one thing that I can't understand right now here, Jason, I see the opening line on the total at 10 is now downshifted to 9. Still a heavy favorite on the mound for the New York Mets, and rightfully so. Look, the numbers just stick out for me in this game. I like the over 9 in the game. I like the Mets team total over, which I did find at William Hill. You can get at 4.5, like minus 135. You can also take the 5 around a minus 110 juice. And I also like the Baltimore Orioles team total over 3.5, which is minus 118 right now at William Hill. I like the trifecta in this game. I think we get runs on both sides. I think it's a comfortable game. Not great hitting conditions, but still 75 degrees, a light wind blowing in. The Mets red hot at the plate. I see them doing some damage in the first 5 innings, then getting after that poor bullpen. But I also think the Orioles can scratch out out some runs and get to that 4 number. I like all 3 here, Jason. I'm going overs with the trifecta. What do you think about here with your Mets?
Yeah, I can't say that you're wrong here. John Means, he's 0-3 in 6 starts. This guy, he's looked terrible. Brutal ERA, brutal FIP, 8.1 ERA, 8.05 FIP. Both these pitchers, they haven't really been able to keep runners on base. So when guys are on base, they run into a little bit of trouble. Waka is walking 3.15 batters per 9 innings, but then Means, on the other hand, is allowing 3.6 home runs per 9 innings. So if either team is able to get runners on base, definitely some big chunks of runs could be scored in this game. Waka, batters are hitting 322 against him, with righties hitting 386, which is a crazy number. And the Orioles have some solid right-handed bats, low key in that lineup. And Means, on the other hand, not getting many ground balls, really struggling. Allowed 8 hits and 4 runs in 5.1 innings pitched versus the Mets in his last start. So already didn't look too great versus the Mets in his last start. So yeah, I like the over 9 in this game. Of course, I usually don't play my Mets in any games, but I really do like this over 9. I'm not taking it, but I really like it.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because you see the Sierra numbers pretty low still for Michael Wacha. But again, you have to equate that for what you're getting. Still, again, we talk about Baltimore's going to get the guaranteed 9 at-bats. And we're not talking about Wacha going 7 innings or 7 1/3 or 7 2/3 every game. 3 innings, 5 innings, 4 innings, 5 innings. And not a shutdown pitcher every game giving up earned runs. Last 3 starts there, as you said, 10 total earned runs over the last, 11 innings. So I just think they can scratch out those runs. But I'm a Mets hater in life, but I love money. And when you see the Mets lineup of how it matches up against Means, or pretty much throughout everybody, there's not an easy out in that lineup all the way down. I mean, you want to take a look at maybe Amado Rosario in the 9th position. He's in the 9th position. There's a lot of pretty good hitters in that Mets lineup. I think they can get to that 5-run number. I think the Orioles can get to the 4 and at least get you that push in the total and maybe get that all 3 swept into it. So that's the way I'm leaning here. That one just lit me up a little bit trying to take a look at that one. 971, 972. Those Angels going to travel down to Texas. That's Heaney, the lefty, on the mound with Lance Lynn. 6 out of every 10 tickets here coming in on the Angels in this game as a slight favorite. Heaney opens up at -115, Jason. Now sitting at around -125 to -130s across the board. A low over-under of 8 in this ball game. Look, Lance Lynn, good start to the season, low ERA, but it's not really what you get out of Lance Lynn. It's can your offense for Texas give you enough runs to keep you in ball games? But then again, I look on the opposite side and I see the Angels lineup like, man, that lineup should really be doing some damage, and it just seems it doesn't. This is one of those teams where my eye doesn't fit what the Angels look like or supposed to be on paper for me. I take them, they get 2 runs, or if I needed to get an over, the game ends up 3-2. It's one of those games I abstain away from. Do you have any thoughts on this Angels-Texas Rangers games today?
Yeah, I have an official pick here, and if you've watched Lance Lynn recently, hasn't looked good at all. He's now allowed multiple runs in his last 4 starts, 6 home runs in those 4 games. So he started off the season very hot. Now he's starting to really start to lose it a little bit. A 3.92 FIP for a 2.67 ERA. And like I said, 6 home runs in 4 games. There's some power bats in that Angels lineup that can definitely, score some runs. So Angels over 3.5 runs. It's at -145. Of course, I agree with a 4 if you see that. A 4.5 is probably pushing it a little bit too much. But, be my guest if you want to take it off of this analysis. But I like the Angels here. Look, Heaney, one of the best pitchers in baseball when it comes to the FIP. 1 earned run in his last 2 starts and 14.2 innings pitched. A low ground ball rate, a high hard contact rate for Heaney, but probably dominate that Rangers offense that really, there's not much in that offense anymore. And then, Lynn, he's like I said, he's just average. Right now, he's pitching average. His FIP is starting to get high, like I said. Allowing those multiple runs, and definitely guys in that lineup are starting to get hot in that lineup for the Angels. So for me, Angels over 3.5, such a low number. They have to be like a 4 runs in this game. And even if Lynn, let's say he goes 6 innings and allows 1-2 runs, then you have that Rangers bullpen. The Angels getting their 9 innings. It's a lot of juice at -145, but the Angels to score 4 runs when you have 2 of the top hitters in that lineup, in the middle of the lineup in Trout and Rendon. It just seems crazy not to do it.
No, and I would agree with you there, because when you're looking at, Simmons, Trout, Rendon, Upton, Ohtani, Pujols, Adele, Ben Boom, and Rengifo, they should be able to scratch out runs. And again, we're not asking for 5.5. Hey, I got to get the 6 runs through 9 innings. You're basically asking for that 2-run home run in the second inning, and then say, all right, let's start scratching some of these runs out. Trout's going to be good for it there. I do agree with you there, but boy, I've been snake bitten more on any team in Major League Baseball this year than probably the Angels. So we'll see how that one turns out. 973, 974, some West Coast action yesterday. Looking at that game going, boy, there's good hitting condition. There's really good batters in this game, but it just felt to me like an under. Boy, was it an under at 1-0. I'm actually going opposite today. Gonzalez and Clevenger are going to be on the mound. 7 out of every 10 tickets here coming in on the Padres. A massive favorite, -230. The line opened up at 9 as a total. Now it's backtracking to 8.5. Don't have a great feel, but I'm going to lean towards the over in this one. The only thing that I don't like about it is you lost a really good left-handed batter yesterday, Eric Hosmer, who turned around for a bunt and fractured his finger. He's not going to be in the lineup, so it would have been more advantageous to load up some lefties against Gonzalez, but I still think that's the semblance of a really good ball club. I'm going to lean on the over in this one. Any thoughts on this game here, Jason?
Yeah, I'm on the Padres over 5, another official play. So I'm throwing out official plays here and there. I don't know what this is. It must be another holiday. It must be on a 4-day weekend here. But yeah, throwing out official plays here. Padres over 5 in this game. Yeah, of course, like Hosmer's out, but Chichi Gonzalez, he's not really a great pitcher by any stretch of imagination. Also, look at the Rockies bullpen. Not a great bullpen either. The Padres offense has been really good. Even without Hosmer, they have so many bats in the lineup that can do damage. Of course, they added Mitch Moreland, who's a first baseman and potentially will play first base for the time being. Who knows how that goes? But they do have some lefties in that lineup that can do damage. So yeah, Chichi, he's now allowed to earned run in every start this season. Of course, only every appearance. He's only had 1 start, but 3 appearances. Yeah, not the best pitcher. 6.04 FIP in those 3 games and 9 innings pitched. Can't really rely on him at all. Clevenger, I don't want to go against him. I think that he's going to turn it around for the Padres. He looked solid in his debut. Quality start there. Still got the loss, but whatever. Yeah, for me, I think Padres got the over 5. And if the Rockies want to score some runs, that's fine with me too.
No, and I think they're going to bounce back tonight. Yesterday just fit that profile of, watching the game and watching how it played out. Nobody was even threatening in that game. It was a great pitching performance from both sides. So now you turn it over today and say, you know what? I think it might go in the opposite direction. Still really nice weather out there in San Diego for hitting, and we'll see what takes place a little bit later tonight. Now that we have our card wrapped up here, let's go over some of these games. I got to say, I shed a tear because the Phillies, when I saw they were playing the Boston Red Sox, I didn't realize when I was setting the card up yesterday, it was a doubleheader. I'm like, man, I'm going to be all in on this, either a total or a team total coming from some angle with these 2 bullpens getting beat to hell in a smaller ballpark. And I didn't get to do it today because it's a doubleheader that I see. It's like, oh, well, there's other games out there we could take a look at. 9:51, 9:52, Tampa Bay and Washington. Yarborough, the lefty, is going to be on the mound for the Rays. Then we take a look at Washington. Anibal Sanchez, who may be that, that innings eater pitcher, doesn't really work anymore because he's getting drilled this season. A 50-50 ticket split, but a heavy favorite for the Rays going on the road, looking at about 150. We saw the over-under open up at 9.5, still saying at 9.5 across the board. The only way I would look at this game is, do I think Tampa Bay is going to win the game? Yes, I do. The price is a little bit much for me for Yarborough going on the road, and specifically the Washington Nationals do have the ability to hit left-handed pitching fairly well. So when we take a look at this game at the 9.5, I like the Tampa Bay Rays full 9 at-bats in this spot, and sometimes they can let you down, but if Sanchez goes 5 innings, gives up 1 earned run, Jason, it's one of those where I just tip my cap. I like the team total over here for the Tampa Bay Rays. Which way are you looking here?
Yeah, that's where I was leaning too. Anibal Sanchez is a guy that I fade right away. Not a big fan of his, and he's got a 6.48 ERA and a 6.21 FIP. His BABIP is 357. He's allowing 2.43 homers per 9 innings. So, yeah, Sanchez has been awful this season. He's now allowed 9 runs in his last 2 starts, which are just 8.1 innings pitched. The Rays' offense is hot and cold, but it's hard to figure them out, but I think it's easier to figure out any offense when they go up against Anibal Sanchez. And like you said, the Nationals, they've done well versus left-handed pitching. But the last time I took the Nationals against left-handed pitching, they got robbed and didn't get over on the total from a bunch of different reasons, which was just nuts. But yeah, I think Rays over team total would be the play in this one as well.
All right, we'll keep moving here. Knock down the rest of these games. 961, 962. Milwaukee and Detroit. There's going to be Hauser and Turnbull on the mound today. 50-50 ticket split. And here's another interesting opener because I'm showing Pinnacle offshore to SBRodds.com opened up at -109. That's all the way up to a -150. Yes, you are getting the better pitcher between the two of Hauser and Turnbull, but the factor it always comes into is, can the Milwaukee Brewers bats be enough of a difference in this game? Because outside of them batting against lefties, which they do fairly well, they're pedestrian against right-handed batters. So what you're looking at saying, look, Hauser's going to have to throw a shutdown, and we've seen some sneaky batting performances throughout the summer from the Tigers. The line for me is too high in this one, and the same thing with the over-under. Even though Milwaukee, based on the advanced analytics, should be able to hit Turnbull, he's due to turn in some poor starts. I just can't trust the bats. I don't have a great feel for this game. Is there anything that you have lean-wise or maybe a play on this game here, Jason?
Yeah, I think Hauser, he blew up versus the Tigers in his last start. Mm-hmm. He's now allowed 9 hits in his last 3 starts. So 9 hits, 9 hits, and 9 hits. That's 27 hits in his last 3 starts. The guy gets a solid ground ball rate, but those ground balls are sneaking through. They're being hard. They're being hit hard. Somehow, some way, they're becoming hits now. So Hauser he's struggling. And then you have Turnbull on the other hand. He's walking 6 batters per 9 innings this season, which is a ridiculous number. His home run numbers are really low, so he's allowing 0.26 home runs per 9 innings. So he's been really good. Also his BABIP is low, but if he's allowing guys on base, anything can happen, right? When you allow guys on base, we've seen that time and time again in the game of baseball. So if I had to make a choice here, I'd look at over 9 in this game. I think both pitchers, they've had their moments. They've also not had their moments, and I think both these starters don't have their moments in this one. Over 9 seems like the play.
320 in here watching right now. 70 thumbs up. We do thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the notification bells. And how about this notification bell here? You see a 7.5 total Wrigley. You know what that means. That's winds blowing in from center field at about 20 miles an hour. Always makes it interesting. Maley's going to be on the mound versus Mills. And also the Cubs open up as a short favorite. -118, -120. That now sits around a pick 'em. And Jason, I agree with that. Not to say Maley's the better pitcher in this matchup, but I like the fact that the Reds are going to be able to stack left-handed batters against Mills, who has struggled. It's a cheap price for a reason. I like the Cincinnati squad on the money line in this game, full game. And you see 7.5, you just want to go, wait a second, 3-3, I'm going to be in a good shot for this. I'm going to end up winning this. But then again, that wind blowing in, and it's crazy because it's not 2 dominant pitchers. It's not like Scherzer's matching up against Yu Darvish, and it's a 7.5. You have 2 average pitchers to below average pitchers, and it shows a 7.5. I'm going to go with the Reds as a short dog in this one. Any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, look, you said that the wind's blowing in, and that's fine and all, but 7.5 or 8?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. And you have Maley and Mills on the mound. So, I mean, I think that's all I need to really say. I mean, look at these guys' stats. They both have FIPs over 4.75 each. Both have struggled, a lot. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's such a low number. I couldn't imagine taking an under in this game. So over 7.5. Need I say any more?
We got the weather people out here. Rob Cook, rain here in Chicago. And C. James says 88 and sun here in Pittsburgh. That's music to me and Jason's ears. Give me some hot weather out there at PNC Ballpark. Get those balls flying out here. How about a 4-4 game by the 5th? And we can all sit back and sip on some drinks. That's what we're anticipating in that one. 977, 978, the Dodgers and the D-backs. Buehler versus Weaver on the mound. 8 out of every 10 tickets here coming in on the Dodgers, and that's not a surprise. And it's also not a surprise that it opens up at -216 and now sits at -240 across the board. Over under of 9. Buehler hasn't been that great this year. Weaver hasn't been that great this year. Maybe we even get an open air situation down there for the Diamondbacks. I'm going to lean on the over 9 in this game, Jason. Which way are you looking here, if anything? Yeah,
look, the Walker Buehler has been so good. And so now that he's returned, I think that we're finally getting back to the Walker Buehler of old. He pitched so well versus the Diamondbacks, only went 71 pitches, though, in 5 innings. So I think he'll be able to go deeper in this game, maybe six innings, maybe. And I think that's enough to shut down the Diamondbacks. I really don't think the Diamondbacks score any runs in this game. Luke Weaver also, this is a guy with a 7.44 ERA, but he's also improving a little bit as well. Recently, played well versus the Dodgers in his last start, allowed, I think, 2 runs in 5 innings, might have been 6 innings in that game. Where he just looked more improved, looked better, looked more confident on the mound. But, I'm still not a Weaver fan, a 4.95 FIP. So it shows you how he's been, really unlucky with a 7.44 ERA. If I had to make a selection, it'd be the Dodgers over on their team total. It's probably around 5.5. They get their 9 innings there. But, I think, I also had a player prop article talked about that Lindor player prop. I like Buehler over 6.5 strikeouts in this game. So if I really had to make a play on this game, I think Walker Buehler over 6.5 strikeouts would be the play, to be completely honest.
No, and I can't disagree with you on that. I really can't. One game left will hit 979, 980. Seattle and San Francisco. LJ Newsome versus Logan Webb. 6 out of every 10 tickets here coming on my man LJ on the mound today. He's a heavy, heavy dog. Open up at minus 160. Now we're sitting between, anywhere between minus 165 to minus 170 at some of the New Jersey outlets. A total that opened up at 8.5 now sits at 9. I'm actually going to lean towards the over because I do think Seattle could do some damage against Webb, and also San Francisco swings hot bats typically at home. You're probably going to get no less than 4 runs out of the Giants. So if that's going to be the case, it sits at 9. Give me a 4-4 heading into extra innings. Cash that over. I'm going to go over 9 in this game here, Jason, out in the Bay Area. What are you looking at for this one?
Yeah, and when I was starting to look at the analysis, I thought over 8.5. So if you get 8.5, I think that's a great play, over 8.5 in this game. Newsome, he's got a FIP of 5.43. His ERA is 2.57, so that shows you he's been a little bit lucky. What he's done really well is he hasn't allowed a walk yet in 2 games, 7 innings pitched. So that's pretty impressive, but he has about 2.57 home runs per 9 innings, and we know what the Giants are capable of at home with their bats. They're a really good offense. And then you look at, Webb, he allows hard contact, pretty high walk rate as well with a 3.72 walk rate per 9 innings. He does limit home runs, but the reality is he doesn't keep guys on base when they are on base. Also has the 4.71 ERA, a 3.51 FIP. So I agree that Webb is the favorite. I agree the Giants are the better team in this game, but I do think there will be runs in this game. And if it's not early, it will be a little bit later in this game. I think it hits over 8.5 or 9, and maybe even double digits in this game.
No, yep, and I do think we get some runs. It's amazing because the San Francisco Giants are in prime position to make the playoffs. Yeah. As soon as Buster Posey said he's not playing, it's like, man, this team's straight up tanking. But it's amazing. Just about every single team in Major League Baseball, somewhere between that 5 games out of the last playoff spot. I love more playoff teams. The old school guys will tell you, Jason, this is a joke, and I like it when one team from each league makes it in and they just play the World Series. Come on, man, this is fun. It keeps the betting better. In 2 weeks, typically in September, I'm winding down my season because who the hell is even going to be feeling like playing in this bullpen? Who's going to be in this? The favorites turn into minus 275s when they should be minus 175s. And even though looking like a little bit, no, we're clear. My bad. I'm just looking at one of these back and say, hey man, I'm going a little bit digitalated right here. But that wraps it up. By the way, before we get out of here and go to the best bets and bankers, I know a lot of people are asking in the chat box, is there anything you like on doubleheaders? I don't even cap the doubleheaders today. Did anything grab your eye that you were looking at, Jason, or not really here?
Yeah, so, you look at the Twins. I think the Twins could potentially win both games with Jose Barrios and Dobnak on the mound for both these games. So I like the Twins in both these games and potentially over on both because Carlos Martinez, he's on the mound for the Cardinals, hasn't pitched in quite some time. When he did pitch, he didn't look great, so I'm expecting not such a great performance out of him in this one as well versus the Twins offense. And then Dobnak, he looked really good, especially in his last start. He pitched really well. Daniel Ponce de Leon on the mound for the Cardinals in that second game. He looked awful too, an 8.34 FIP. So the Twins in both these games look like the clear favorites. So yeah, I like the Twins on both games.
There you go. So, and again, I just wish the Phillies had a single game today and just were playing Boston because I would be attacking ND all over that nonsense out here.
Yeah,
now, let's get to some best bets.
Let me just, go ahead. Yeah, yep. I like Eflin here in the first game for the Phillies versus Red Sox. Yep. Eflin's been a lot better than Perez, so definitely like the Phillies in the first game. Don't have to play in the second game.
There you go. I had said
is there one more game? Yeah, there's also the Athletics
go ahead, hit them.
The Astros. The Athletics versus the Astros. Greinke versus Montez. I like Greinke in the spot. Both pitchers haven't performed too well as of late, but I do think Greinke bounces back and has a better performance than Montez. So I like Greinke for the Astros in this first game. Don't have to play in the second game.
All right, best bets and bankers. 35 minutes through, getting through an entire card today. Your time is your money, and we like to understand that. Now it's time to put some in. Look, I've been having a real fun run on this. 12-1 in my last 13 plays. I'm looking to extend it again. Team totals have just been running hot all summer. Really fell in love with those early in the season last year and found a nice little niche. And we're going to go back to it today. There was a couple plays that I really like, but the one I think makes the most sense for me, I'm going to get the full 9 at bats. It's going to be at Citi Field. I'm going to go the team total Baltimore Orioles over 3.5 minus 118. I think they get 4+ runs in this game. I know Waka's advanced analytics there with the Sierra is low, but I'm going to get a full 9 at bats. But also I'm factoring in here, Jason, that Waka maybe goes 4 1/3, 4 2/3, 5 innings, maybe 5 1/3 innings, hands it over to the bullpen. I just need one of those, as I always like to say, in the first 3 innings. Give me a 2-run home run, then we'll chew on the rest of these. Some of the numbers here that I like to look for make sense to me. If we're looking from a right-hand side, right-handed batters, a 494 weighted on base average this year against Michael Waka, 321 for lefties. So even when you're looking at the number, that's right around average. And if we're going to get a 3.5, it's going to take a Max Scherzer, Randy Johnson, a crazy pitching performance to pull me off of that. I don't think Waka's the guy to do that. So my banker play of the day today is going to be the Baltimore Orioles team total over 3.5 minus 118 at Will Hill. Jason, take it away. Best bets and bankers for you today, buddy.
Yeah, so we got the White Sox versus the Pirates. I like the White Sox over 5 in this game. Of course, I agree with the 5.5 as well. If that's all you got, we're both looking for that over. We're both trying to get that 6. So White Sox over 5 at minus 135 is an official play. We've got the Marlins first 5 at minus 106 on the money line. That's the Sixto Sanchez game versus Kyle Wright. So again, the Marlins first 5 at minus 106. The Angels over 3.5 at minus 145. Hoping the Angels over Lance Lynn, who's really struggled recently, can get a couple of runs early and then score late against the Rangers bullpen in that game. And then lastly, you've got the Padres over 5 at minus 114 against Chichi Gonzalez. So like that, those are my 4 official plays. My banker will definitely be the White Sox game over the Pirates to get that 6 runs there. So over 5 for the White Sox with Dylan Cease and Musgrove game. I think there'll be a ton of runs in that game. Hoping there's a ton of runs in that game so the White Sox get over. Even if it goes extra innings, get a little extra.
There you go. Just need that Abreu 3-run blast that you know is coming, because how many times have you seen it? The White Sox have 2 runs after 5 innings, then explode late. That lineup is definitely tough. And again, you're looking at a weak pitcher in the Pittsburgh Pirates, and you're looking at a weak bullpen as well. So full 9 at bats. Let's cash in these best bets of bankers, guys. 330 people currently in the chat box. We do thank you for that, for bringing the fire out here. Pizza, Shaheem Taylor, Tiraj, C. James, not applicable, AJS, thank you for that. 90 thumbs up and 1 thumbs down. Maybe yesterday they had those New York Mets. Maybe that's you with that thumbs down yesterday, Jason, for the New York Mets. We do want to thank you guys for tuning in on a Tuesday today. Tomorrow, Wednesday, same time, 1:30 p.m. for a large card. We'll review it all together. I'm Donnie Seymour. He's Jason Radowitz. We're sportsbook.com, and this is your Major League Baseball show. Good luck.